Hey there, are you running ads or driving traffic from Facebook and you need some way of measuring whether or not this traffic is converting on your Unbounce page? So we are going to cover this particular subject today, how to track Facebook traffic to your Unbounce page and do it the right way. So there's two different ways to do it. You can actually put the code right into Unbounce, but I always feel, and if you've looked at any of my other previous videos, that the Google Tag Manager is the best way to do this. It just gives you so much more control, and it's a single call to the Google Cloud, and you're able to be able to track a whole bunch of different things, not only Facebook, but Google Ads tracking, Google Analytics, LinkedIn Insights tag if you're tracking that. So the Google Tag Manager, in my opinion, is the best way to do this, and it works really good. So we're going to actually go through this step by step. We're going to start by grabbing your Facebook or your Meta pixel, going into the Google Tag Manager. Actually, I'll take you through just a quick preview if you haven't watched the video yet, and there's a separate video on how to set up Google Tag Manager for Unbounce, but I'll take you in it really quick just so you can see what that configuration looks like. Once the GTM, the Google Tag Manager, is firing properly from your Unbounce account, then you can go into the GTM and create everything that you need to be able to track through Facebook, and I'll take you through that step by step, okay? So let's get started. Let me see here, give myself some extra room. All right, so we are going to, first of all, go into our Facebook account or Meta account and grab our Pixel ID. Okay, so that'll be the first thing that you'll want to do. So what you want to do is log into Facebook. Now, I am in the Business Manager. If you don't have a Business Manager within Facebook, I would highly recommend setting one up. It allows you to be able to manage your account the proper way, and if you ever need to share access with any consultants or agencies or whatever it is that you might need to do, it allows you to be able to share assets on a individual or organizational basis and be able to set permissions accordingly. So if you haven't set one up, please do. You just go to business.facebook.com/settings and then follow the prompts. Once that's set up, and perhaps it's already been set up for you. In fact, most people have. Facebook made a big push on this many years ago. So I'd be surprised if yours is not set up. But once it's set up, you'll go into this section down here under data sources that's called data sets. This is where your Pixel ID actually exists. Okay, so it used to be in this pixels section, but you can see now it says your assets has a new location and it says under data sets. So we go down to data sets and you're going to see, if you have multiple pixels, you'll see them all here, okay? And it just so happened, because I do a lot of testing, that I had 2 pixels and I wasn't sure which pixel was actually active. And you might run into this as well. A lot of accounts end up with multiple pixels. So one thing to do is just go into your actual website and take a peek to see what's actually being fired. So here's brandrocket.net, and I have this browser extension called the Meta Pixel Helper. I'm not sure why it's not showing anything. Let me just refresh here. And once it refreshes, I should be able to get some data here. So, so I have a metapixel ending in 239. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to Meta and take a look. So we're going to go back into the data set. So I have one here that ends in 199, and I have another one that's 239. So this is the one that I need to configure. Okay, so 239 is what I'm going to configure. Now, what we're going to do within the Google Tag Manager is set up 2 different firings of triggers. So in the Google Tag Manager, you can fire code. A lot of times it's tag code, right? So it could be Google Analytics or Google, any of the tracking codes. For Facebook, we're going to fire 2 pieces of code. We're going to fire the base code, which kind of like initiates everything within Facebook. And then after that gets initiated, then we fire standard event codes. So that could be page views, it could be purchases, it can be leads. There's a whole bunch of them. In fact, let me just show you really quick here. there's a lot of different, what we call standard events, right? And we can fire, after we fire that base code, we can fire different standard events based on whatever action it is that we're trying to accomplish. So let's say that it's a lead form. On that firing, after we fire that lead form, and we send the lead form, it goes to a thank you page. On that thank you page, we would fire a standard event called lead, and you can see that one right down right here. Okay, so this piece of code, and I'll take you through that. I know we're talking about code and everything, and it can be a little bit confusing, but I'll take you through that so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's actually pretty easy to do. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so when you're in your business manager or your business settings, again, it's business.facebook.com/settings. You'll want to go to from your data sets, from the data sets section. You're going to see this in the upper right hand corner, open in events manager. Go ahead and click on that. And that's going to fire up another page where you'll be in your events manager. And what you'll need to do here is just simply go to the right hand side over here and click on manage integrations. From this particular page, you will then select, if you have a pixel already active, then you will select manage and then install pixel on new website. Okay, if you don't have a pixel set up, then add new integration and follow the prompts. But most likely you already do. So install pixel on new website, manually add pixel code to website. So we click on that and we can see that the code is here, and we just simply copy this code. This is the code that's going to be entered into the Google Tag Manager, and it's going to be the first thing that we fire on our Unbounce page. So imagine as the page is loading, this gets fired first, and then any of the standard event actions that I showed you previously will get fired second, okay? So we're gonna jump over into the Google Tag Manager. Okay, so from this page in the Google Tag Manager, we are going to add the base code. So the first thing you wanna do is simply select new, this button here in the upper right-hand corner. This will allow you to create a new tag. We are going to select under tag configuration, we are going to select custom HTML, and we are going to paste, because remember, over in Facebook we copied the base code, so we are just simply going to paste that in here, which is exactly what we need. We are going to make a change under advanced settings for tag firing priority. We want this base code to fire before anything else, and you can see you can control the priority here. Tags with higher numbers for priority will be fired first. So we're just going to add 100 here. Which should be sufficient. And then on the triggering side, we want this base code to fire on all pages. Okay. If you don't have that set up yet, what you want to do is select a new trigger. I have a bunch of them that were pre-configured, but if you don't have that, you would click on the plus button. You would select under trigger configuration, page views, and then you would say all pages and then title that accordingly. Okay. All right. So let's get back over. I'm going to discard that portion. I'm going to X out of this. So here we are back over here, and I'm going to name this meta base tag. Meta base tag. Okay. We're going to save that. All right, so it has not been fully deployed yet with Google Tag Manager. You know, what we typically do is we create tags, and then we put it in preview mode to test it, and then if everything looks great, then we submit it. Okay, so this video is not about how to use Google Tag Manager, but just rather I'm going to take you through the steps on how to do this, and hopefully you can follow along. But so far we have the meta base tag, although it is not fully deployed on the website yet. We'll go through that here shortly. Now that the meta base tag is in place, what we want to do is go back over and look at these standard events. We want to fire that standard event, for example, when somebody submits and we're going to use the example that I always use in these videos. A while back, we created a video where we basically took a StoryBrand website template and created We emulated the StoryBrand template in Unbounce. There's a whole video on it. It's pretty interesting. If you have a chance, go through it. It is about an hour, but we took this $300 template and we basically like recreated it in Unbounce. Okay, so we're going to use that same templated page. We had also created a form there, a form that submits to a thank you page. Again, I have videos on that as well. So just search for Unbounce on the Brand Rocket channel, and you'll be able to see that. So let's hop over into the standard events. We're going to take a look at those to figure out what we want to fire after the base code. And again, this will only fire after the form has been submitted. Okay, so let's take a look at both of those. Okay, so here is the Unbounce page, and this was set up at lp.brandrocket.net. If you need help in setting up custom domains, like subdomain name dot whatever your domain name is, I have a video on that as well. So make sure you search for that. So this is the page that is the main page. Then as you scroll down, there's a form, and this form will get submitted to a thank you page. It is on that thank you page that we're going to trigger this standard event, which will allow you to be able to track your performance through Facebook or Meta. Okay, so the second page is. I'm sorry, that is the main page. Let's just jump over here. The second page, the thank you page, is here. Okay, and you can see when I scroll down at the very bottom of this page here, you'll see something called JavaScripts. Now, you could actually fire the script there that we're about to enter, but again, I think that is just best because you can control the order in which these tags get fired through the Google Tag Manager. So while Unbounce does allow you to be able to fire different pieces of code at the account level or at the page level, like we're seeing here, I just think it's better to be able to control this all through the Google Tag Manager. Okay, so this page gets fired on the thank you page. Again, I'm going to jump back over to the main landing page here, and we're going to take a look. And let me just go into this page here into edit mode. So you can see as I scroll down to the form itself that this goes over to /thanks. So lp.brandrocket.net/thanks. That's the page that we're going to tell Google Tag Manager to fire the standard event that Facebook has. Again, and to look at this one more time, specifications for Metapixel standard events. And there's a whole bunch of them, right? So it depends on what you are tracking. Here's one for add payment info, add to cart, add to wish list, complete registration. I'm not going to read through all of them because there's quite a few. We're going to do lead, and this is the piece of code here. There's more to it. There's a little bit more to it than this, but you're going to see it says track and then lead. Okay, so we're going to jump into the Google Tag Manager. We're going to set up another tag that fires only on that thanks page and allows us to be able to trigger this particular piece of code, which again will allow you to measure leads that come through the Meta advertising platform. Okay, so we're back in the Google Tag Manager, and you can see down here, here's the base tag that we created, the Meta base tag. Okay, so now we're going to create that second tag. We're going to click on New again. We are also going to go back in and select custom HTML. We're going to add what we just looked at, right? So again, going back over to the Facebook or the Meta page, FBQ track lead, although we have to contain that within the script tag. So it has to be script, just like you see here, and then the backslash script here. It has to be between those two tags, and then we can that's what allows us to be able to track anything that gets submitted as a lead. Now down here, of course, within triggering, we have to be very specific as to where this fires. If you fire this on all pages, it's going to grossly misreport. It's going to over-report everything as a lead. So make sure that you're very specific about where this fires. And again, it all depends on how your website or your Unbounce page rather is configured. Again, remember when we looked at it, we said, okay, we're going to fire it on the thanks page. So what we do here is we just simply go, we click on the plus symbol, upper right-hand corner. We're going to say, let's do page views. Okay, so we're going to, the trigger type will be a page view, which we see here. It defaults to all page views. We want to do some page views. So we're going to say the page, it could be page URL. In fact, I'll just do page URL. Contains, I would say, starts with, and I will say thanks, okay? So that should do it. You could also go with the page path. You don't have to do starts with, you can do contains or equals and things like that. In fact, maybe it'd be better just to go equals. We're gonna say equals. We're gonna get very specific with this. That thanks page again is / in fact, let me just type it into the browser to make sure I've got this right. HTTPS. And we have LP, brandrocket.net / thanks, and that should work. It's always good just to double check things, So I'm going to copy that URL in, head back over to Google Tag Manager to this trigger section. I do page URL equals, and we're just going to get very specific with it and say equals thanks, just like that, okay? So here I'm going to say page view because the trigger is a page view. We're going to say PV for page view. And just put thanks or whatever whatever you use for the way that you format that. Okay, I'm going to save it. So now we have this lead standard event that gets fired only on that thanks page. We do need to name this as well. Okay, so just to be consistent, we used to name these Facebook. Now we name them Meta, and this would be lead event or whatever, again, however you would name that. So, okay. In fact, I would probably say Unbounce lead event or Unbounce form submission or whatever you want. Okay. So we're going to save that. All right. So again, it has not been deployed yet because we haven't submitted it, right? So the way Google Tag Manager works is, typically you should test it first, make sure it works, and then you submit it. Let's do a preview test. I'm going to just look at this page. We're going to go through the process of submitting and to see if this actually works. So let's go into preview mode. Once this shows up, I'm going to enter in, or it's already there for me. Okay, so lp.brandrocket.net or whatever the page is that you are testing. So go ahead and make that connection. Okay, and then you're going to say, or it's going to say Tag Manager or Tag Assistant is connected. So you will see another window that opens up over here. It says connected. All right, so you continue, and this will show everything that gets fired. Okay, so you can see on this particular page that just loaded up, and you can see this up here in the URL, GTM_debug and a bunch of numbers, right? So we can see now that it is connected to this, and we have a bunch of tags that have been fired because there's a lot that's configured in this Google Tag Manager account. Facebook base code, but we also have LinkedIn from a different project that we're working on, Google Ads conversions, all kinds of stuff that's actually firing. But what is not firing is that we have this Meta Unbounce lead event, right? Because we're not on the thank you page. So let's scroll down and fill out that form. All right, so I'm just going to enter in some information and get a free guide. And this should take me to that thanks page, and it does. Now let's jump back over, and you can see up here, upper left-hand corner, you can see that the thanks page has been loaded, and now we should see the Meta Unbounce lead event. So we had, and there it is. Okay, so that fired, right? I think I mentioned previously Facebook base code, which is another tag that's an older one. What we were actually looking for is the Meta base tag. So Meta base tag fired on both both the main page and then also the thank you page. The important thing is that this fires first, initiates everything, and then the standard event, in this case for lead, gets fired second. All right, and this allows you to be able to track your Facebook advertising, and you can't manage and you can't grow and scale if you're not tracking, whatever it is that you're attempting to do, whether it's a form submission for a lead, or if it's a download, for some type of asset that you're sharing with clients, or whatever the case might be. And there's so many choices, right? So you can go back over to standard events and see there's a lot of different ways to track this. Could be a purchase, could be starting a trial, could be a subscription, all kinds of things. The important thing is you're tracking what's important to you, and that you're able to make intelligent decisions about your advertising investment. And this is stuff that we do all day long, by the way. So if this is outside of your comfort level, just contact us, because we specialize in Google ads and in Facebook ads and LinkedIn, and setting up all the measurement that goes along with it. Data, we're very data-based as well. So if you need help with any of this stuff, definitely reach out, and we'd be happy to help you out. Okay. So that being said, so that's how you would set up Facebook or Meta for tracking, again, using the Google Tag Manager. Okay. There's another way to do it that just uses what's built into Unbounce. But again, I just feel like this gives you far more granular control. It allows you to be able to, using the Google Tag Manager allows you to make one single call to the Google Cloud and then use all of your tags. As you can see in the previous example, when we're looking at the preview mode, there was a lot of tags that were firing out of the Google Tag Manager. It's just way more efficient that way. It's probably a lot faster as well. So, all right. So now that we know that it's working, our final action here is to push this live, right? So if we were just to leave it alone, we test it, we're like, hey, it's working, and then we go off and do something else, it's not going to work. We have to actually push it. Basically, we have to activate it. So that's the last step. So now that we went through preview mode, we tested it, we know it's working. Now we're actually going to submit it, and go ahead and click on that submit button, give it a name, any name you want, and then publish, and that will push it live. Here again, descriptive name. You can skip it, but if you want records, give it a name and description if you want. Continue, and that's going to push it live. Okay, and then right there, you're going to start tracking all of your activity via the Metapixel, which is super, super important, especially if you're investing in advertising on the Meta platform. Okay, so that's it. Just to conclude, we have a special offer going. So if you have not signed up for Unbounce yet, now would be a great time to do it. You actually save a bunch of money. Get 20% off your first 3 months, or 35% off your first full year. Just use the link that is at brandrocket.net/Unbounce to get started. Also, if you found value in this content, please give it a like, subscribe. I'm going to be covering a lot more in terms of Unbounce and marketing in general. So we do Google Ads, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we do it right, and we do it all day long. So if you need help with any of this stuff, feel free to reach out. All right? Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.